Today, we're going to dive into a poem that asks a really powerful question. What happens when a pure universal truth falls into the hands of human beings? We're deconstructing the Ballad of the Three Sectors, and even though the story feels ancient, its warning about faith, division, and drawing lines is, well, it's incredibly relevant today.
Let's just jump right in with these opening lines. The poet isn't just setting a scene here, they're crafting a myth. I mean, listen to that language, dawn of time, where silence learned to speak. Right off the bat, we're talking about a truth that's way older, way more fundamental than any of the institutions or religions that came later.
Okay, so to really get the poem's central conflict, we first have to understand the world it starts in. A world of, simple, profound unity. The poet sets up this perfect foundation, this ideal that was pure, accessible, and meant for everybody. So the poem's central symbol is this hill, and it's so much more than just a piece of geography, right? This hill represents the highest spiritual goal, this place of ultimate wisdom, a single peak that, in theory, anyone could climb. Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. The teaching itself is described as a single flame. Think about that for a second. A flame is pure, it gives light, and, it's for everyone, for strong and frail and weak. The poem just hits it perfectly when it says this is a light no hand could own. It was never supposed to be the exclusive property of any one group. So you've got the destination, the hill. You've got the teaching, the flame. And in this original kind of perfect vision, there was just one way to get there, the path. A single, clear route open to anyone who wanted to walk it. This is the before picture, the world before things got complicated. And this is where everything changes. The poem does this sharp pivot from that beautiful, unified vision to the messy reality of human nature, our instinct to organize, to categorize, and ultimately to divide. This line right here, this is the absolute heart of the poem's entire argument. The imagery is just so powerful. Lines upon the dust. I mean, what does that mean? They're temporary, they're arbitrary, they're totally man-made. And yet these flimsy artificial boundaries create very real, very solid barriers. And that's the tragedy. And you can see exactly how that division plays out. That single path just splinters. On one side, you get the path of tradition, all about seals of ancient gold, status, and history. And on the other, you've got the path of asceticism, which asks for nothing but bowls and vows and breath. That one simple way has totally fractured into these competing exclusive systems. And the poem shows us it gets even worse than that. These divisions create all these other subtle, unspoken rules. It's not just about which group you belong to anymore. Suddenly, robes were weighed on unseen scales. Your value was based on how you looked, not what was in your heart. All these new tests were invented that had absolutely nothing to do with the original teaching. Okay, so let's see how this all builds, because the poem is about to make this conflict really, really personal. We're moving away from the abstract idea of division to the very real human cost of those lines upon the dust, all seen through the eyes of one person. And here he is. We meet a barefoot boy with folded hands. He's basically the poster child for pure, sincere faith. No status, no fancy robes. The poem says his heart is a shrine, and he's only looking for one thing: refuge from my fear. He is, in every single way, the ideal person this path was created for. And that right there is the tragedy. And then that line comes back. But this time it just lands with such a tragic, personal weight. Those lines upon the dust are no longer just an abstract idea. They are a very real, invisible wall standing between the sincere boy and the peace he's so desperately looking for. It's his pure heart colliding head-on with a system of man-made rules. And this is the gut punch. The boy asks a question that just cuts right through all the dogma, all the rules, and it exposes the core hypocrisy of the whole system. He's basically asking, hey, if this path is for everyone, if we can all wake up, then why does the door that you built in your teacher's name still turn away from me? It's a devastating question that just echoes, doesn't it? But the poem doesn't just leave us in despair. The final part actually offers a profound resolution, a way to think about all this. It clarifies where the problem really lies, and in doing so, it becomes both a sharp critique and, surprisingly, a powerful source of hope. The poem makes one thing absolutely crystal clear. The original things, the hill of truth, the flame of the teaching, they're still completely pure. They are unbroken, clear, and true. the core message itself hasn't been tainted or diminished by all this human drama. And here it is, the poem's ultimate insight, the diagnosis of the entire problem. The light, the teaching itself is flawless. The fault, well, the fault lies with us, with the hands that pass through. It's our all too human tendency to create hierarchies, to control access, and to turn something that was meant to be open into something that's guarded. And this leads to this beautiful transformation of that final refrain. It shifts from being a lament about drawing lines to this powerful, hopeful declaration. It reaffirms the original promise: the way is free, the door is wide. But now there's a little challenge attached. It's for all who dare be true. Not true to the rules of an institution, but true to the original open spirit of the teaching itself. And so the poem leaves us with this final echoing question. Because this story isn't just about some ancient faith, is it? It's a timeless allegory that forces us to look at our own world, in our communities, in our institutions, even in our own hearts. Where are we still drawing lines in the dust? What invisible gates are we building that might be turning someone sincere away? That's the question the poem leaves us with.